I think the game, to me, we had great rhythm early. You could tell we had like 3 days away from a game because we had like a high level of intensity on both ends, and then it started to wane a little bit in the third, and then we got it back. I was pleased with the defense to hold any team to 19 and 18 points in the second and fourth. And we had 20 assists in the first half, and we ended up with 30. So that's always a good marker for us. And anytime you get a win in this league, you value it, and then the secondary thing I'm thinking about is just the team rhythm and trying to figure out combinations and different environments where we can be effective on offense, and then trying to figure out the best coverages on defense. And we tried a few things tonight, and I'll look at the film and see how effective it was. And then as far as Kevin is concerned, he's just as efficient as he's always been. And even though we've scripted a lot in practice and he's done a ton with us, when you get out there on the floor, it's a totally different deal. So there were some hiccups tonight as to like what play we were running and that kind of thing. And it's just pretty cool to be able to give the guy the ball and he can get to his spot and get a really good shot. And I thought that the team fed off of him just being himself tonight. I still thought he turned down a few looks. One he tried to throw to DA, and DA thought he was shooting the ball. And I think that kind of rhythm will come as the guys play more together.
Curious, obviously, put him in, I think, maybe like 2.5 minutes left in the fourth. Was that just to get him a little more time in? Or?
Yeah, just, everything right now is about conditioning, but it's also about team conditioning, down the stretch. Even in a game like that where you feel like you have a good chance to win the game, there's certain things that happen in those environments, whether it be a pick and roll coverage where we got to space the floor effectively, or just getting the ball in bounds versus pressure down the stretch. And in those environments, it'll be Chris, Book, and Kevin down there handling the ball. And so I wanted to try to space the minutes out tonight where I could finish with them. And I just wanted him back out there with those guys just to see how he would look.
Is there anything?
It's been a long time since you coached him every day. Since that year in Oklahoma City. Do
Yeah.
you anticipate that he'll be a different type of leader as far as dealing with his teammates or?
I don't think that's his deal. You know what I'm saying? I think too many players in the NBA get too much pressure to lead. I just don't think it's necessary. It's my job to lead, and players do it in spots. But that's the one thing I told him. I said, look, I'm not looking for you to lead. We just want you to be yourself and hoop. And I think that's where he's the most free to be himself. We know we have Chris. Book leads in his own way. Chris has been a great leader his whole life. We just want Kevin to be himself. And I think he can show nuances of leadership, and I think he does that with the way he works. It's been interesting to hear the comments from different players and different people in the gym when they see him go through his workout. It's unlike anything you've ever seen before, and I think that's had a huge impact on everybody in the building. So I think that's a form of leadership.
When you look at just the other guys, I hate to call them the other guys, but you know what I'm saying?
They have names.
I know, I'm kidding with the names. When you look at the way Devin and DeAndre started the game, being aggressive,
Yeah.
how important is that?
I think that's how we're going to find out who we are. I think too many times when you try to integrate high-level players, there's a tendency to, put on a different mask to try to help somebody fit in. I think that, from my perspective, I think that prolongs what you're trying to accomplish. I think the more we live in who we are and live up to the character of our team, it allows for the people that you're integrating to fit in and see where they can be effective, and so they can be themselves as well. And I don't think it would, I think I would have a lot of trepidation if we had selfish guys. We just don't. We move the ball from an offensive perspective, and then on defense we sacrifice for each other. So I'm hopeful that You know, it's only one game, but I'm hopeful that everybody just remains in character so that we can figure out who we can be.
You mentioned defensively, you had a couple of blocks earlier. How important is that aspect of
It's one part of his game that, you know, you have to be really, really good offensively, which he is, to not talk about his defense because he's pretty good. It just speaks to how good he is on offense, but most people don't talk about the defense. He's always had a tenacity about him on the ball, and I think that's something that, you know, got us going early when he was able to get those two block shots, just guarding the ball, and that's something that we pride ourselves on, being able to guard the ball so we don't have to help.
On the defense front with Kevin and the way that he's able to kind of protect the rim on the weak side, do you think that'll give you some leeway to be more aggressive like DeAndre in ball screen coverages with him roaming, or do you mostly see him as a piece of your switching defense?
It's hard to say. I mean, you have to play a few more games before you start making declarations about what you can and can't do, but we hope there's a possibility where, because he can rim protect, it may allow for DA to be more aggressive in pick and rolls because you got Kevin sometimes behind you. It just depends. Sometimes you may be guarding a guy that's lifted and you can't get to the rim because you're guarding a guy that can shoot the ball. So that's hard to choreograph all the time. But when he is on the bottom weak side, and sometimes when you're guarding a guy that doesn't shoot it well, you can't be in rim protection.
And obviously, with it just being the first game, he's still in the mid restriction. But in terms of the rotations, it looks like Devin got to run with just the bench, KD got to run with just the bench. Have you already kind of got an idea of how to stagger that yet?
It's too early to say where we're going to be because of the restrictions. Kevin's going to be in a restriction for a while, not a long while, but he'll be on it for the next week or so at least. Book's coming out of his restriction a little bit, so he's starting to get his normal allotment of minutes. And then Terrence didn't play tonight, so that's another guy that would be thrown into the mix that can, help us see where we're going to be. So I think we have a bit of time yet before we can start to cement anything as far as rotations are concerned.
In terms of the rest of the road trip, Monty, Kevin will play the rest of the road trip, no questions about.
We'll see. I don't want to get too far ahead, but we'll see. We'll see how he responded tonight. But I don't foresee any hiccups, but I just don't know just yet.
Thank you, Coach.
Can I go now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I missed playing, and it's the highest level of ball in the world. So I missed being out on the floor and going over strategy and just talking with the guys, the camaraderie, all that stuff. I missed it all. So I'm good. I'm glad I got to get back on the floor today and try to build towards something.
How would you assess your game today?
Oh, it was solid. I felt like I should have made about 4 more shots. I felt like I turned the ball over a couple times off the trap. It's just getting used to that again. And I lost the ball off the handle, going to my left, so I gotta get that stronger too. So just looking at the stuff I didn't do well and seeing how I can turn that into a strength next game.
Still different at all in any way than any other game?
No, at the end of the day, there's a lot of moving parts around this, but at the end of the day, it's still basketball. So we try to just focus on that.
Kevin, how did you end up at a Charlotte High School basketball game last night?
So Nazi Muhammad, I played with him in OKC for a few years. His son, Sir, is starting point guard there at Myers Park, and big game. So I was glad I was able to catch it.
Kevin, what's your general thoughts on your teammates getting out there and playing with those guys, and how did you feel like you fit in?
I feel like I fit in pretty well. Everybody out there was trying to make me as comfortable as possible, coaches and players as well, and so just got to keep grinding, man. And this jersey on me will look normal in a couple, as games go on, as we start to keep building who we are as a team. And I'm looking forward to it, though.
Sorry, did you feel like on your end it was a pretty clean game on your part in terms of where to go, what to do?
Yeah, I didn't think I was. I thought I'd be lost on a few plays, a few sets on the defensive side of the ball, but I felt like these last 2 weeks, a week and a half of practice, and being around the guys is constant communication. CP, Campaign as the point guard, they're doing a good job of letting me know where I need to be on a couple sets I may not know, may not be familiar with. But defensively, I thought I was in solid position all night.
Conditioning wise, are you 100% just after the long layoff?
Yeah, I feel solid. Like it's about conditioning and getting in game shape, and I think each game I play, the more and more minutes I play, I'll get there.
You had a couple of stretches each half. It was just you and 4 bench players. You guys extended the lead both times. It's like you were comfortable with that unit.
Yeah, I mean I've been in the league for so long. I play with all types of units, all types of players, and so I just gotta still be me, no matter who's on the floor. And Coach drove some good plays, and guys were playing hard on the defensive side. So things were working for us when I was out there with those guys.
It seems like whenever you come back from any level of injury, it doesn't seem like you've been hurt, that usual rust.
Oh, I've been hurt. I've been hurt. Yeah, I mean, just being comfortable with the game, being around the game for so long. Like you said, I had plenty of injuries before, so I figured what's best for me throughout rehab, and as I'm ramping back up to get back into the game, I kind of understand what I need to do to be the best version of me, and then just go out there with a free and clear mind and just play, not worry about in this case my knee, and try not to think about it, and the game just told me what to do out there tonight.
At what point in the game were you feeling?
After my second shot, I think my first shot I could have. I think I just shot that just to shoot it, to be honest, because I haven't shot in a while. So after I shot it, I was like, I could have took another dribble and used a little bit more power. So after that, I got a layup, and Book hit me for a 3, and I think that's when I was comfortable.
I think you said after the game to broadcasting that you don't usually get nervous before games, but you were nervous before this one. How come?
Yeah, new environment, new situation, new teammates. I always feel like I gotta prove myself to my teammates and my coaches every day, no matter what I've done in the league. So I feel like it's pressure on me to be who I am every day, and I put that on me internally. So sometimes it's a balance though, because I might go think too much about a situation and throw myself off. So I feel like it's all healthy though, man. I got good intentions and I want to do well out there, so I'm just trying to get comfortable.
Yesterday we spoke to you about number of minutes, and you went almost 27 tonight.
Yeah.
You've gone a little bit more, or is that about right? Or
yeah, when Coach put me on that third, I felt like I was in the start of that fourth, I felt like I was in solid groove. I had made a couple shots and I felt good. And I didn't think I would play that much, to be honest. I thought I was going to be hovering around 19 or 20 a game, but Coach is a player. He's been there before, so he understands. And I needed a couple extra minutes to get some rhythm, and he gave me that. So I'm grateful for it.
It seemed like you guys had a real plan about how you're going to come back and get the extra practice time. Do you feel like that really worked out for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I feel like the last almost 7-8 years in the league, all these training staffs have been doing a good job of, when guys get hurt, they ramp up process, not just throwing them back into the action, figuring out a plan for them to get back on the court and be at that level again. I think it's helped, So each franchise that I've been with have been doing that, and I think it's key for guys going forward who are coming off injuries.
Physically, did you feel like you did everything you wanted to tonight, or were you feeling a little limited in some areas?
I don't feel limited, but I feel like I could have explored a little bit more. I shot a pull-up 3 over Hayward. I probably should have drove that one and see where I can, see what I can do from that. So it was just about trying some stuff. I didn't feel like I was limited in anything, though.
What was it like seeing Devin and DeAndre being aggressive early?
I mean, that's what we need. They've been playing that same way all year. I feel like those two guys stepped it up this year as far as scoring the basketball for this team. DA with 16 rebounds, 4 assists, and the shots he was making tonight too, like the fadeaways from the mid-range, it's impressive. And we know what Book does. He's solidified himself over the last 5-6 years. So he's one of those guys that we count on to make plays like this. And DA, we count on him to do this every night. And we're gonna need this going forward if we want to be the team we want to be.
What has the integration process been like for you defensively? Because obviously a lot of switching between Phoenix and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Any other calls you feel like you had to kind of get used to?
Yeah, just different terminology. Like you said, we switched a lot the last 3 years, and and playing the pick and roll coverage is something that I didn't do much of the last 3 years. But I got playing in different organizations. I done played all types of defenses, so it's just a matter of us all staying on the same page, communicating every time down. And if we need to switch, we're gonna switch. If we need to stay in our pick and roll coverage, we're gonna do that. But it's about being on the same page.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Tonight being out there with
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Kev's somebody that I have high respect for, and it's one of those moments that it doesn't really feel real. I'm gonna take it day by day, and just watching him from a little bit closer. I can't say afar no more, but just brings the best out of everybody.
What was a couple of things he did early? You were like, okay, that's what I'm.
I mean, it's just every time he shoots the ball, it's just so effortless. You can see defenders trying their hardest to, contest or fight over a screen, and he just looks unbothered and unfazed.
One of the things that Coach said was that you and DeAndre being aggressive earlier, that's important to remain who you are, even with him, even with Durant out there. How big is that for the team, for other guys to be themselves?
100%. I mean, we need all 5 guys out there. I'm telling Josh the same thing. Like, teams are going to try to put the last defender on you. Like, you're going to be open, catch it, go, catch it, shoot it, let it fly. That's the flow of our offense. That makes everything go. So, everybody needs to be aggressive. Everybody needs to continue to play their way. And, Kev's one of those guys that, you can plug him into any system, any offense, and, he's going to be efficient. He's going to get buckets. He's going to defend at a high level. So, you know what you're getting.
In this last 2 weeks or whatever, even when he wasn't playing, it seemed like you were really engaged with him on the bench. I'm sure you described how you were in workouts and practice.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have really invested in making this a smooth start.
Yeah, you have to. We're over halfway through the season, 20 games left, and obviously everybody knows our goal and where we're trying to go. So, we have enough talent to do it. I think it's going to come down to the details that we have to learn, and that's what we're doing. Just trying to get everybody accustomed to the type of basketball that we've been playing, the system that we've been in, and at the end of the day, the talent will take over. But some baseline just everyday things that we do.
When you're sitting on the bench with Chris, he's out there with the second unit, and they're steadily in the lead.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind?
There's no feeling like that. And I think when it comes down to it, one of us will always be on the court at all times, which is, helpful also. But, it's a good feeling. I'm a fan first, like everybody else. Same with everybody on the team, Chris, DeAndre. Like, I have a lot of respect for these guys, and, I enjoy the art of basketball. So, watching KD, one of the best to ever do it, right here on my team is something I never thought of. But, it's here now.
In terms of the offensive sets, he was off the ball, coming off and the screens and stuff. As far as the play, how close is he to picking up what you guys do?
I think he's close. That's our job. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, we don't have too many sets. We kind of just have formations, and, we play basketball out of that. It's kind of like playoff basketball. Everybody knows what teams have been running the whole year. It just comes down to, who can play. Just reading, reacting, and, just figuring out the type of actions that have been successful for us.
Someone that has had just about every coverage thrown at them throughout your career, and also someone who studies the game like you do. How have you seen defenses evolve over the last few years?
I think the really good teams can, adjust on the fly, and those are the teams that are successful in the playoffs. There's so many different coverages, but all 5 guys have to be on the same page. And, when you're going through a playoff series, that might change quarter to quarter, timeout to timeout. And, the good teams where everybody's communicating and 5 people are on, a string at the same time tend to be more successful. So, there's been so many new coverages. I think the games went to mostly a drop now where, regular season drop where, the big's back and, the guards fighting over trying to rear view contest. No different than old style basketball. We did a lot of hard hedging and things of that sort. So the game's evolving, it's changing, but I think the good teams can switch it up on the fly.
What is it like playing defensively with Kevin, and how does it kind of differ with your relationship like with Kevin when he was there?
Yeah, I mean he has length. I think he gives our team more of a presence around the rim, keeping him as the low man, and him and DeAndre started the game switching out on a lot of things, that led us to getting steals and deflections and getting out in transition. So, and on ball, he's one of the guys that can play angles and play back a little bit because he has the length to still affect your shot. And I've played against him in the past and learned that. So,
tough to score on.
How would you assess just the overall game of the guys with Kevin at the end of the day? How would you just assess?
I mean, I have to digest it, go back and watch. It's fun, I'll tell you that. It's a lot of fun. You know, you can feel the energy, you can feel the confidence throughout the team. You know, that's what the great ones do. You know, he might not be the, the loudest person in the locker room, but, you know, his work speaks for itself, and, you know, it's definitely contagious from top to bottom.
Thanks, Book.
Yeah.